Hey everybody, today I want to show you another simple shoulder strengthening exercise you can do after a stroke. Now the exercise I'm going to show you today, I call scap squeezes or scapular squeezes. The word scapular just means your shoulder blade, right? So the big um, bone kind of shaped like a sideways right triangle behind your shoulder, right? So this is very simple. This is going to be for those of you at home who maybe obviously had the stroke, but maybe don't have full movement back in the arm. All you need to do this exercise is just a little bit of shoulder movement, meaning in the exercise I'm talking about, or the movement I'm talking about, is that ability to squeeze your shoulder blades together, right? Now, here's a little caveat. Even for my patients who maybe don't have a palpable muscle contraction in the muscle that you need to do this movement, to squeeze your shoulder blades together, and that muscle is the trap, the middle trapezius, right? I'll show you what that looks like. So we're looking at this here. All it is you squeezing those shoulder blades in and then relaxing, right? So even for those folks who don't maybe have a visible contraction or a palpable contraction in that area that you can actually feel, I actually still encourage patients to close their eyes and think, go through the motions, even if just that stronger side is the one moving, still do that, because the visualization of that and just the like sending the message from the brain to the nerve to the muscle, thinking as though you are trying to do that movement, can actually help spark some of that muscle return, if that is a muscle that is going to come back anyway. It's not a magic thing, it's not a magical trick or anything like that. But repetition is everything in terms of neural recovery, right? And visualization is a real thing. So trying to actively closing your eyes and thinking through those as if you're doing certain movements can actually, your brain and the nerves still kind of function and fire as if you're really doing it, even though those connections obviously have been damaged. And so you may not see that active movement, but you want to kind of reestablish those pathways. So picture like a trail, a walking trail that's kind of all grown in, and there's like branches and shrubs and thorny bushes and whatnot all grown over, and you can barely see that pathway. Well, you closing your eyes and visualizing and actively trying to go through those movements or thinking through those movements is like giving your brain, what do you call those things? It's not a hatchet, I forget, but you know what I mean, the big knives or something, or I don't know, but you guys know what I mean. Like you're going through that path and you're hacking through all that kind of the briar and the brush and all this stuff. You're clearing a new path. I know that was a lot. I hope that made sense. So anyway, this is one of those exercises that I will teach and encourage patients to do a lot, because it's really phenomenal for that. And this middle trap is a great muscle because it's one of those shoulder stabilizing muscles. So you really want to work and build strength in this area. So to do this exercise, very simple. The number one way I recommend, if you can, is to get yourself seated at a nice sturdy table where both arms are supported. Again, we're mostly concerned about your weaker arm, your affected arm. That's the arm that needs support. I say this all the time, and I will continue to do so. It is critical that you keep this elbow and this shoulder supported and protected. If you're allowing it to hang, the weight of your arm is pulling and applying undue pressure on that shoulder joint, causing that, it can cause that bone to kind of slowly come out of positions, like to sublux or dislocate, and you do not want that. So when you're stretching and you're exercising, please make sure that your elbow is supported. If you can do this at a table, have arms up, sit tall. I always say think as though you're a queen sitting on a throne or a king sitting on his throne. That's that visual cue to sit upright, head up, chest out, shoulders back. And then all you're going to do is gently squeeze your shoulder blades together and then relax. It's that simple. To make this even more effective, if you have the strength and the ability to do it, you want to squeeze back and then you're going to hold it for at least 3 to 5 seconds, right? If 5 is hard, just do 3, right? You're going to do 1001, 1002, 1003, and then relax, right? This is another thing I say a lot, slow and controlled. If you can hold a muscle contraction and hold that position, that's going to make that muscle work even harder. So that's why I really encourage people with this exercise to try to hold at that end range. When you get that to the squeeze, then hold it. Now it can be weak, and if you can't hold it for 3 seconds, do 2, do 1, do the best you can. But that's kind of the goal, and that's the mindset I want you to have with this exercise. Is slow, controlled, very intentional, and then relax, right? Now, if you can't do this at a table, totally fine. If you're sitting up on the edge of the bed, even better, because your core will be engaged and you can kind of strengthen some of those muscles while you do this as well. Or if you're sitting, maybe you're just sitting in your wheelchair or on the couch even, the main thing I want you to do is just make sure that you're sitting upright. So think king and queen on the throne, right? And then what I would use, or what I like to use, this is just it's a body pillow that I fold in half, and it works really well as a nice support. You can put for the arm, right, to get some support under that shoulder. So again, if this is my affected arm, I'm going to have the pillow here in my lap and just make sure my arm is resting on the pillow. So again, if I didn't have the pillow, now I'm losing that support. I'm getting that heavy pull and drag on the shoulder, worsening or creating a subluxation, which you don't want. So get that arm up, get it positioned nicely on a pillow. You can do folded blankets. Just, you get the idea. You want something under that elbow to support the shoulder, right? And so from this position, everything is the same. Think king on a throne, queen on a throne. So you're going to start sitting fully upright as you can, and then just squeeze those shoulder blades together. Hold it for 3 to 5 seconds, and then relax, right? Shoot for a set of 10 if you can. 3 sets of 10 is usually what I recommend. But again, if you need to go down on those reps or how many sets you do that. Because when the muscles are just starting to come back or when they're weak, they will fatigue, right? And so just really pay attention and listen to your body. If you feel like it's the muscles kind of pooping out and you're not getting as good of a movement as you did in the beginning, that means you just need to rest, okay? Or go ahead back on the reps and sets. So again, chest up. Before you even start, squeeze those shoulder blades together and then relax. I'm going to show you from behind. Hopefully you can see this. Again, I've got if the table's in front of you, your arm's on the table. If you're using a pillow or folded blankets to give that affected arm support, put that in your lap, sit tall, and then you're going to squeeze those shoulder blades back, hold it, 1001, 1002, 1003, and then relax, okay? One thing you want to look out for is what I call shoulder hiking, sometimes especially on this weaker side, because this muscle here, your middle trap, is weak, right? Or if it's just starting to come back, you're not going to necessarily see a ton of movement. So what happens is the stronger muscle, if you have that working and innervated, you're going to see your shoulder want to come up. That's a big deal. You don't want to do that because, again, our focus with this exercise is that middle trap. So as you squeeze back and in, I'm going to show you here. You want the shoulders stay nice and level, right? So you're thinking squeeze back and down. It should not look like this, right? So as you come back, and sometimes it does, it's hard to make muscles that are working turn off, and that upper trap is such a strong muscle. So if you have that one firing and it's working, sometimes it kind of jumps in the mix when you don't want it to. So using a mirror, having a mirror in front of you, or if there's someone around that can kind of say, hey, your shoulder's coming up, do what you can to keep that down, right? So it's a nice pure movement. And again, your shoulder may not move as much or at all, but I want you to still close your eyes, get in the right position, and do everything the same, because you just want to get those nerves firing if you can, right? I hope that made sense. Please let me know, you guys, if you have any questions. If you haven't incorporated this specific exercise in your daily routine, please do so. It's so simple. And I tell people all the time, you can literally do this anywhere. I mean, technically, you can even be in bed and try to work this muscle group. Ideally, I would love you to be sitting up in these nice positions, but the main thing is you're getting the repetition of these movements going, and with the hopes of getting all whatever you've got going now or not yet, just getting something started or getting what is there stronger. Okay. Shoot me a comment. Let me know if you have any questions. I try to be really good in answering things as promptly as I'm able to, because I'm here for you, and I really hope this is helpful. All right, see y'all next time. If you found this video helpful, don't forget to subscribe for more DIY videos to help you along the way in your stroke recovery. Struggling at home? Have a question? Leave me a comment. I'm here to help.